Then the next system call is the read system call. Okay, so read system call, first we will see the syntax for that. See here, read, then the int ft, it is a file descriptor. Already you have opened the file by using the open system call, and that the file descriptor has been stored in the variable ft. Then the void star buffer, then the size, int size is there, and even it is going to return the size here. So whenever you want to make use of the read system call, you have to include the two header files. First one is the unistandard and the system slash types. So this function is going to fetch a fixed size block of data from the file which is referenced by the file descriptor. Okay, so here it is going to fetch the data. Okay, and that size you have to mention here. See what it is going to say here. fd, it is an integer file descriptor that field refers to the open file. Okay, already it has been opened by using the open system call. Then buffer is there, it is the address of the buffer which is holding the any data to be read. Okay, size specifies how many bytes of data are to be read from the file, that will be present in the size parameter. Then on a successful, the number of bytes actually read, it will be written. Okay, if we are at the end of the file and we are trying to read, then it is going to return the 0 because 0 bytes has been read there. Otherwise, if it is unsuccessful, then the -1 will be written, and the global variable, that is the error number, is set to indicate the errors. We will see one example here. See, character buffer of 20. Here I have created one buffer with the size 20. Then the size underscore t, I am declaring one variable with the number of bytes and the another one variable with the bytes read. Okay. Then int ft is there. Then here I have to write what? Fd is equal to open the file, then file name you have to specify, and the in which mode you are opening here, in the reading mode you are opening, and which all permission you want to specify, that you have to give, and after that you have to check for the errors. Okay, so now what I will think, I have opened the file and that file opening has been done successfully. Okay, see here, n bytes is equal to here size of the buffer, because I want to specify how many number of bytes I am going to read. So for that I am just getting the size of the buffer by using the size of function here. So n bytes. So just here read file descriptor buffer, then the n bytes. Okay, n bytes of data will be read from this file, and that will be stored in the buffer. Okay, and how many number of data you have read, that will be written, and it will be stored in the bytes read. Okay, the next is the error number, read error number. The first one is the EBADF. FD is not a valid file descriptor, or it is not open for the reading. If you are trying to open the file which is not opened in the read only mode, okay, so and you are trying to read the file, that time this error will be written. Then EIO is there, that is error input output. This is error bad file descriptor. Here an IO error occurred while reading from the file system. Then error interrupt. This call was interrupted by a signal before any data was read. Then E again. The file was marked for non-blocking the IO and no data was ready to be read there. Then the next system call is the write system call. Okay, so here the header files will be sys/types.h and the unistandard.h. Okay, so file descriptor, for this the parameters will be file descriptor, constant void star buffer, and the size. Okay, here also it is going to return the size, that how many bytes of data you have written. So the write function, it is going to fix the fixed size block of data to a file which has been referenced by the file descriptor. F descriptor is there, it is an integer file descriptor which is going to refers to an open file. Then buffer is there, it is the address of the buffer which is going to contains data to be written to the file. Then size is there, specifies how many bytes of data are in the buffer argument. Okay. Then on a successful completion, the number of bytes actually written is written. The number can be smaller than n bytes and even it will be the 0. Otherwise, it is going to return the -1, which is the error number, and the error number will be set. Here we will see one example. Same thing, I have to declare one buffer, okay, of the size 20 n bytes of data. Then how much bytes of data you are going to write, then the file for the file descriptor. So initially what I will do, that buffer is empty, so what contents I want to write, what data I want to write, that I have to copy in the buffer. Then I have to get the length of the buffer, then because what data you are writing, then what is the length of the data, that you have to pass as a parameter to your write system call there. So see here, write ft is the file descriptor, buffer it is going to hold that this is a test, and the n bytes it is going to hold the size of that buffer. Okay, everything will be passed to the write system call. Okay, when it will be performed successfully, the number of bytes has been written, that will be written here. And next is the write error number. Here also same thing, the first one will be the bad file descriptor. Fd is not a valid descriptor, or it is open, it is not open for the writing. Then e pipe is there, an attempt is made to write to a pipe that is not open for reading by any process. Okay, then next is EFPIC is there. An attempt was made to write a file that exceeds the maximum file size. That is, the file size will be big. Okay. Then here interval is there. It is attached to an object which is unsuitable for writing, such as the keyboard. Then the next is no space is there. No free space remaining on the file for containing the file. Then EIO is there, error occurred while writing to the file system. These are the different types of errors which may occur whenever you are going to perform the write operation on your file. Then the next is the close. Close. Okay, so here the header file will be unistandard.h. Then int close is there, int f dash is the file descriptor. The close function disconnects a file from a process. Fdisk is an integer file descriptor that is going to refers to an open file. The return value of close is 0 if the call succeeds, and -1 if it is fails, and the error number contains an error codes there. Okay, here we will see one example. I have created one buffer, then they enter the text to write in the file. Just I am reading from the keyboard. Okay, then after that here read 0 comma buff comma 50. Okay, so that you are going to read it. Then open the file. Open the file in name of the file is file. You are going to open in the create mode. Read permission you are going to give here, read and write permission you are giving to the user, and the these are the permissions there. For all you are going to give the read write and execute permissions there. You are opening in the read write mode there. Okay, write the ft contents in the file descriptor where the data is present in the buffer, and the size will be n. Okay, so next write 1 is there. Okay, so on the standard file you are going to write, then buffer and the n, then close the ft. Okay, thank you.